this was some fireworks. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, boy, oh boy, oh boy, Adam Schiff, he didn't know what hit him. Kash Patel walked in the room, called him a buffoon, called him out right to his face. The senator from California getting handed a mouthful from one Kash Patel, director of the FBI. Let's watch.
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order.
I mean, that was good, right? Right. You had to see that one because Adam Schiff, who I once called the lead actor in the Schiff show, right? Shifty Schiff in the Schiff show. He did actually want to be an actor. I think then at some point he wanted to be a film producer, and somehow he settled on senator from California, which tells you everything you need to know about California, right? I think they need to rework the maps there in California like they did in Texas so they don't wind up with the likes of Adam Schiff. Not a very bright guy, and I say that in light of the allegations against him for his alleged mortgage fraud, because anybody that would actually take out multiple mortgages and claim that they were all his primary residence clearly isn't that bright, okay? Not very swift. Lisa Cook, not so swift either. Somehow she's hanging on to her job at the Fed, for now anyway. And then, of course, the other one being one Letitia James, who we all know isn't the brightest bulb at all. It's kind of ironic, right? Like that Donald Trump is able to use exactly what she was trying to go after him for in a perverted, twisted way. He's able to then use it right back at her and at Adam. So Adam Schiff gets into this testy exchange. Yeah, he's trying to insult Kash Patel. You guys are doing a lousy job. I'm just going to go back to, what was it, 33 hours? Wow. 33 hours and they got the guy. That is actually pretty remarkable. And you would think that Adam Schiff would have enough decency to say, hey, thank you. But this is the guy who didn't who didn't actually impeach Donald Trump once, but twice, 3 times. I mean, he just couldn't ever find an impeachment he didn't want to run down, right? I mean, and it was all crazy stuff. But this is what they've been doing over and over and over again. The Democrats have been pushing a narrative that's fake, that's wrong, and that's politicized.
Not see public office again. He is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated. And I hope these far right podcasters
eliminated. He has to be eliminated. Can we be a little bit more careful with our verbiage here, people?
Come to their senses and recognize that this is not war. We do not divide this entire country based on political ideology.
We are on the eve of an authoritarian administration.
See, there we go again. Trying to rally the troops because Trump is bad because, I don't know, he wants to improve middle-class wages. He wants to actually have a border, something that you guys actually once believed in once before. He wants to have lower interest rates so that, people have more mobility and can afford a home. He wants law and order so that people don't feel that, when they get on a subway, they're going to have what happened to that poor Ukrainian woman happen to them.
This is what 21st century fascism is starting to look like. I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not with the Nazis. People can finger point all they want. Look at the record. Look at the actions of what we are doing. I don't think a single person who has dedicated their entire career to preventing gun safety legislation from getting passed in this House has any right to blame anybody else but themselves for what is happening.
Like we're in a war right now to save this country. And
whoa, okay, again, can we like tone down the rhetoric, buddy boy? This is the senator from Connecticut Chris Murphy. I mean, you heard Dan Goldberg trying to say, okay, we're not Goldman. We're not in a war. But now, you go one state over to Connecticut, we're suddenly in a war. And AOC, she's always apparently in one.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
What? Okay. Again, when you go back to that YouGov poll that I showed you guys earlier, and you see that the extreme left, young people on the extreme left are somehow justifying violence, just look at what the adults are trying to feed them. That's frightening.
Look today at the left or the right as the enemy. And it's worth us stepping back and understanding how we reclaim a sense of ourself that maybe is not so rooted in politics, which is inherently oppositional. There has been a permissiveness about political violence, and I do think the President of the United States has to answer for the way in which he's created that culture of permissiveness.
They try to act like,
he's created it? Excuse me, I'm listening to you guys right now. He's the one that got shot at. I mean, they tried twice to take him out. They were successful with Charlie Kirk, and you people sit there and say this garbage.
Political violence, it's the Democrats and it's the liberals, and it's like, actually, I mean, I'm not going to say that like a left-leaning person cannot be violent, because that would be like crazy to say that somebody can't be. But baby, y'all got the white supremacists galore, okay? Like all of them. You got the Proud Boys. You got the neo-Nazis inherent.
We have an issue. There are people on the left. There are people in the media that think somehow they're out there preventing the next Hitler, which I would say is actually incredibly insulting to all of the Americans that lost their lives, and there were a lot of them in World War II. I would say it's insulting to the millions of Jews that lost their lives. I would say it's insulting to all of our allies who lost their lives. For you guys to sit there and claim that Donald Trump is that, when all he's trying to do is create a better economy for working America, to actually ensure that we have borders, something you all believed in prior to him, when he just wants to offer Chicago more help and say, hey, I can send in the National Guard so you can have some more police on the streets, and they're going to fight it like that? We've reached, dare I say, a turning point. And when you look around the country right now and you see tens of thousands of new charters wanting to go up to honor Charlie's memory, that's a good thing. People are no longer afraid to speak out. They know what this moment in time is about. We're not going to have radical groups funded by foreign governments taking us over. Those days are over. It's going to change. It has to change. I'm seeing so many great comments from all of you here in the live show today. I want to get to some of them because I think you feel just like I do, that the media has been out of control, fully, totally out of control. And it's been allowed to be out of control for what? I mean, because there's been like no check on it for whatever reason for how many years now? I mean, we're going on 10 years of this crazy stuff. Oh my goodness, I think I got a really, Ken Woods, thank you so much. I appreciate that generosity. I really do. You guys are all so generous. And look, it's been a tough week, right? It's been a tough week for me. It's been a tough week for all of us. My children didn't know him, but they watched him all the time. I've told you all, you can hear it from mom, right? But it's not the same as hearing it when you discover it yourself from Charlie Kirk. Turning Point is a force. It's not going away. I think about all the good that can be done right now because young people everywhere are more engaged, have an inclination to be involved in civics and government because because of Charlie, right? What he was able to accomplish truly, truly, truly is just amazing. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud to say that I was one of the first to put him on television because I know talent. I know talent. And he had it in spades. And he's looking down. He's looking down on us knowing that he could have done a lot more, but that we can all collectively together take this forward, and we will. We absolutely will. Thank you so much. JD's speech in Michigan was great. You're right, Peach Roses, and he did a great job subbing for Charlie on his show. I mean, it's a different time. I think that, there are these moments in history. I read something by a political scientist the other day where you just see this ground shift, this total change, right? Total change that happens because of a moment in time. And I think Gary's metal detecting, thank you so much. I agree with you on what he said about Benny, by the way. Another reason Chris Cuomo needs to be fired. My gosh, disgusting stuff. I totally agree with you. But in other words, there's this moment in time that's happening that is very rare, but is very monumental. And this is one of those moments when I think a lot of us on the right, not me, I mean, I'm out here every day and I say exactly what I think, and sometimes it gets me in a lot of trouble, right? I was willing to call out how crazy the national shutdown was for, March 2020. And, next thing I knew, I no longer had a job at Fox, but that's fine. It all worked out for the best. Do you know that I do like triple the amount of views that Fox Business does over here on YouTube? Just little Trish Regan, right? So, I kind of just hung up a sign who could say, hang up a shingle, and what do you know? Here I am. And it's because of you, Charles, thank you. It's because of all of your generosity and all of your commitment to the truth that I've been able to make this a success. And we are now over 1 million subs strong. So this has been an incredible journey for me. And I'll tell you, I'm not giving up. I know you're not giving up either. We got a lot of work to do. We got to save this country. We got to make sure that we get the foreign influence out. We got to help our kids, for goodness sakes, and make sure that they're on the right track and not being radicalized down these crazy rabbit holes online. Much, 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 much more ahead to do. I love that you're here. Please make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that for me, for this movement, for history. Okay, because there's a lot more ahead. I should point out, how could I forget? The Federal Reserve did lower interest rates. I call that the Trump effect. By 1/4 of a point, you guys. 25 basis points, some people were hoping for 50. Stephen Moran, who just went over there to join the Fed board, he wanted a little bit more, but I'll tell you, I'll take what I can get at this moment in time because I know it's going to help. Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by 1/4 of a point. This is good. This is exactly what Trump wanted. And the markets like it. They're going to continue liking it. If you're interested in investing, it's a free guide that we have, Invest in MAGA, because we have a look at sort of all the great things that the MAGA movement economically is putting forward. And so I encourage you guys to go take a look at that. You can also subscribe to my newsletter, 76research.com. Go there, use code word dollar, DOLLAR, so that you get it for just $1 a month for the first 2 months. I do want to get to this other comment because, let me pull it up. They're fast and furious. I'm looking off screen so I can see everything that you guys are writing. I love, love, love that you're this engaged. I think very few people, I was looking at this, we never spent any money marketing on this show. We just kind of did this all organically. And I think that that is a big reason why we have had so much success and we have had they call it stickiness in this business, right? Because you have people that really genuinely like you. You're here not because I took an ad out somewhere or did something in someplace else. You came here because you found me, you liked me, and you stayed. So thank you again for all of that. Don Bacca, one of the originals, right? Leslie, thank you for your generosity the other day. I really appreciated that. Leslie's been great. Cat Crazy here from almost the beginning, right? David as well. Sherry Berry, thank you very much telling me to take good care of myself and to make sure I get some rest. I'm okay now. Last week was tough, and occasionally, Sherry Berry, I think about it, and it's hard. It's hard. Again, he was a competitor sort of mine and a colleague of mine, right, at Salem Media, because they sell our show. So like the Balance of Nature ads, that kind of thing that you see. And I loved Charlie. I've actually filled in for him on his show before when he needed some help. And I consider myself to be someone who helped in some small way get him out there in front of the public many, many years ago. So I'm saying my prayers for him, and I'm saying my prayers for the country and for the next generation, because they don't need this, they don't deserve this, and we can do much, much better. I love you all. Thank you for everything that you do to make this show a success. If you haven't watched us live before, it's okay. Try and tune in. Make sure you hit the bell so you know exactly when I'm live, and make a comment. It helps. Believe me, every bit helps in the algorithm. I've learned that. The algorithm. Okay, thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow.